welcome to today's class. This is really a different class. I've never hosted one of these before. So today is all about building your business. You can ask me anything today, and I'm going to share 10 strategies to build a thriving coaching business. I'm Jessica, and I'm super excited to break things down, start at the beginning. This is a little bit of pressure testing. This is a little bit of it's a good time of the year to revisit your business and revisit where you are in relation to all these concepts. And, by the end of our hour today, if you stay with me through the whole session, I want your fellow coaches to be like, oh my gosh, you've figured it out. You have done it. You have made these small changes that have made the difference and totally changed the game for your coaching practice. So yes, small tweaks that can help you maximize your results. If you would just grab a piece of paper, jot some notes down, and you can certainly jot notes or questions to me in the chat at any time. But it's a safe environment. So I just want you to know this is being recorded, and the recording will stay within the coach community, meaning within my learning platform. So it will be safe there. So feel free to share whatever you're comfortable sharing on video. It'll just be seen by other coaches. All right. All right, cool. Okay. So a little background about me in case you haven't heard. My story is that my journey to coaching came from a wonderful experience of burning out in my career, and I was struggling with what I wanted to do next. So I worked at Deloitte for over 8 years in Canada, and I hired an executive coach to help me through that soul searching. And through that process, I discovered all these themes in my life around mentoring and teaching and training and even coaching as well. And so I stepped into my full power of becoming a coach. I went to Royal Roads in Victoria, in British Columbia. I worked at Amazon as well. And it led me down this path of writing books and coaching thousands of people across the globe. I'm so proud of all of that. I'm even proud of ActiveCampaign as my email marketing software, and I've been named a 3 times success story, and they've written press releases about the work that I've done. So I coach overthinkers, introverts, and perfectionists to find their passion and to get back their personal power and build purpose-driven businesses that last. I also mentor coaches with marketing and sales and content strategies so that you know exactly what to do when building the dream business. I offer one-on-one coaching. That's my primary service, but I also am offering one-to-many group offerings as well, courses, books, and content. I'm currently working towards my master certification in coaching. It has been a long journey to get here, but I'm really excited that 2025 is the year that I become an MCC, which is something that I've been really excited to achieve all these years. So that's my background. So I've been doing this a while, and I've seen a lot of stuff. And the question that we want to ask ourselves today is, what are some small tweaks that will bring more results in my coaching business? Here's an agenda. So I'm going to start out, I'm going to run through maybe about 20 minutes or so or less, 10 small strategies that you could use that can help you tweak your coaching practice. We're going to open it up to Q&A. I want to hear your deepest questions, your burning questions on what you're struggling with, what is confusing about your business. Maybe some things are working, some things are not. Just really feel free to share, whatever would be most valuable. Ask me anything about the process. And then last but not least, I will present an opportunity for mentorship in today's call. So today, when you think about your business, if we can answer this question on the screen, why does your business exist? We can get to the root of all these other clues around your marketing and creating your offers and who you serve. So think back and, take some notes, jot this down. Why does your business exist? And I'll say, first of all, I think I worked many years in my business knowing that I wanted to help people and know that I wanted to make an impact, but I still hadn't translated that into my why. And my why today, I would say, is more about I believe in human potential, And I believe there is no greater time with all the advances in technology and AI. It's the era of knowing ourselves, and it's the era of connecting to the real us. And if we can do that, that's when the world unlocks. And so that's my why. That's why I'm here, is I want to help people unlock to that greater capacity that they know is inside them. So if you can answer that, you're off to a great start. Here are some 10 small strategies that you can do to make some small tweaks starting today. The first strategy is a marketing strategy. Um, Pretty straightforward. When anyone who's your ideal client reads your content, reads your website, reads a message, or hears your message, they say out loud, "That is totally me." They get it. It is like you have dived right into their minds and you have said and expressed exactly what they've been struggling with or what they've been wrestling with. This is how you know that your marketing is working, is because they will say, "That's totally me." And I don't know, I'm very fortunate that I have the background that I have, and I've been kind of Jane of all trades in my career, including journalism major back in university. And so I like to write. So my marketing speaks to people to the point where they will say, like on your website where you said this, this, and this, that is exactly what I'm going through. Or I saw myself in your words, your case study, your story, your journey. This is so helpful because that's exactly what I've been trying to understand about myself. So when you find that match between your marketing messages and the audience, they will instantly develop a trust and a connection to you in a way that is so powerful. I don't solicit that feedback from them. They volunteer when they meet me and they say, "That is totally me, what you said on your website. I love that." I actually had somebody say that yesterday. So it happens a lot. Okay. The second strategy, small strategy, is when you think about your offering needs to understand the problems that you want to help your ideal client solve. Your services need to be like an exact or even a perfect match to your ideal client and their needs. And so this is where you understand the pain points, you understand the transformation that they want to make. There's all kinds of hints. And every single coaching discovery call or introductory call that you might have had is going to give you the clues of what people say they want. So if we look inside that, we can start to package together the language that they might use. You, as coach, may understand that there's a lot of other phases after their initial problem, or maybe their problem is not their problem, like a time management or something like that. It's not really about time management. There's something else going on. You, as coach, know all that. But in marketing and in your offer needs to speak to where they're at the beginning of that journey, not across the whole journey. I think that's a thing that a lot of coaches I've worked with struggle with, is they know the A through Z version of things and they want to solve for all of that up front. That actually could be a turnoff to your ideal client because it's just simply too much to digest. It's not going to give them the next small win, the next small step that's going to result in them making progress and really moving forward. So consider what your offer is, consider what it isn't, and know what you do and the niche that you're trying to support with that offering. Number 3, specific words on why they would choose you is your unique value. Coaches are not selling coaching. I know that that sounds really bizarre, but we're not. I'm actually selling transformation and the ability to transform in a way that's similar to my journey. It's part of understanding yourself and becoming self-solid and having a values alignment with what you say you want and what you want to do and that ultimate future that you're working towards in your life. So for me, what I'm selling per se is the ability to work with me in a way that I'm the bridge to help you get to where you want to go. And I've done it, and I have many examples of how I've done it and how I've taken a lot of brave leaps in my life, and figured it out and manifested or landed on my feet in a way that has changed the game for my career. I mean, to start out as a graphic designer and having worked at some of these global companies and worked at the top of those companies is just a dream come true. And I haven't done that without taking risks, but those risks have been calculated. They've been steps that are aligned to who I really am. So in marketing your business, it's your unique value. You are the product. You are who they want to work with. And you can call it coaching, you can call it something else, but you're what they want. So be clear on what is your unique value and why somebody would hire you as opposed to somebody else. These are specific words, and they may already be in your testimonials and other feedback that you've gotten. All right, two more, and then I'll ask you a challenge question. So when you get to sales in your business, design a signature product. It's very tempting to think of all the things that you could offer and all the different varieties and programs and prices and you start to develop like a carnival wheel of services. Start with one, start with the main one. I cannot tell you how lucky I am that I started with one signature program. The signature program was based on my book, Finding Passion. This was a workbook that I designed to help people at the career crossroads find their passion. Sometimes I don't even have to say the second part of the book title. I can just say Finding Passion, and that resonates with my audience, that they're like, yes, I want that. I want to figure out this career that I've got. So having a signature product meant that I was able to start with this pipeline and send people through this experience and really define what that experience looked like. So I mapped out the journey, I mapped out the value, the entire process of what they would need. I realized that once they finished the program, there's still some ongoing maintenance and integration work. So I developed a second phase of work after the first phase. So knowing what happens next is a really important part of building your business so that you're not just working really hard to just get people in the door and get them started. You're thinking ahead about what will they need in phase 2 or phase 3 or year 2 and beyond. So design your signature product and hone in and prioritize that process so that you can optimize that process before building and scaling to other programs and services. Number 5, trust your instincts when it comes to pricing. Know the market rate for your region. Develop a pricing philosophy, thinking about your ideal client, what's their appetite. And you can test this out. Like you can even, for some coaches who are nervous about saying their numbers out loud, send them to a landing page that has 3 different price points on it. Look at your data. What do they click on? Find a way to gather that information, but trust your instincts because most of us intuitively know what that ballpark price is. Develop that pricing philosophy, and that can be the path to your profitability. So ideally, the ballpark price, if I go back one, plus your signature product, you could fill 80% of your practice with that, and that would be a really awesome dream business, right? Okay, so now I want to open it up for you guys, and you can come off mute if you'd like or use the chat, either way. So right now, do you have a marketing problem or a sales problem? And here's the key difference. If you have a marketing problem, you're seeing inconsistent number of people knocking on your door. You're also not sure where the next client's going to come from. When you've solved the marketing problem, it's like going fishing. It's like the spot that you want to go fishing and you go there and you set up and you catch those fish. It's the same thing. So marketing problem, inconsistent number of leads, and maybe even the leads are not aligned or they're not really ready to buy or they're not wanting to buy. When you have a sales problem, on the other hand, that's when those same folks, say you have 100 folks knocking at your door, but out of 100 folks, only 1 or 2 people convert to being paying clients. That becomes a sales problem. There's something misaligned in your offer, your pricing strategy, or even the enrollment process itself. Maybe the promise of what they think they're getting is not what the program really is, or vice versa. So a sales problem can mean not just in the beginning, but down the road, that you might not be following through on enrollment conversations with prospects. I have been really lucky that I have a tech background. And for me, a big part of what I was building is I wanted to get leads while I was sleeping. That's the truth. I want to wake up in the morning and I want to have an inbox of leads. That happens. Um, I want to, trust and treat all my potential clients as capable. So I want them to book themselves and I want them to cancel or let me know if something is changed. I want them to feel empowered to do that. I don't want to handhold them through that. But I also know that for my business, when I meet somebody and when I see them for an initial discovery call, I still to this day, 12 years later, offer discovery calls because I got to see if they're a fit for me too. It's a two-way street. And when I meet them for that initial call, the people who are ready to buy from me and the people who want what I'm selling, they sign on within 7 to 10 days, guaranteed. No questions asked. No, like, can I ask for, can I contact some of your testimonial folks and ask them questions? Like none of that weird stuff, right? That gets really it can be really time consuming really quickly. The people who are ready will buy very quickly and sometimes even within a day or two. But in coaching, I've noticed for my business that there's also a longer lead time, a longer runway. I've had people come back out of the woodwork after 1 and even 2 years later and say, like, hi, my name is Emily, and I met you 2 years ago. Do you remember? And then now I'm ready to move forward with working with a coach. So the sales problems or the sales opportunities, I'll say, can also be with just nurturing who you've already got in your world. And that's a really, really important lesson. So yeah, feel free to share like or chime in the chat. Are there any thoughts or comments you have on what I've shared so far and strategies or having a marketing or sales problem? It's going to be brave to say.
Yeah, I'll come on, Jessica.
Hey, Jules.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, it's a bit of a, yeah. So if I was to say for me, it's more of a marketing problem, um, for sure. So that's, yeah. And so I'll say that. And then what I found interesting so far as well, and I'm going back, so I don't really market myself on LinkedIn and all that stuff, right? It's more, I'm on a couple of coaching benches, but so when your names go out and you've got your descriptions and all that stuff. So I know there's stuff there. Um, but yeah, and when you talk about, but as I was originally trying to develop the business, I don't think my wording is quite right in identifying what the problem is actually looking for when they're reading the my when I add posts, right? So I think there was a mismatch there because for them to make it's almost they need to make a leap. It's not easy to, when you're talking about growth and so sort of far-fetched a little, like, you know what I mean? So yeah,
I think so. I think you're saying similarly what I did in the beginning, which was I was trying to give them the whole transformation up front. And I was trying to get them
yeah,
to, like the very end of the rainbow when actually the pain point was something way smaller and way more immediate. And but my marketing
yeah.
messaging was kind of in the other direction. It was like the big thing. So that's one piece of it. And you said something else in there about the wording too. It's like if you feel that, so first of all, putting yourself out there to people that you already know, I mean, that is marketing, word of mouth marketing, referral marketing, being on coaching rosters and lists and stuff. So that is all, those are all great ways to market yourself. And so there's thousands of ways to market yourself, including taking out billboards, in your town, in your city. You can do it any way that you want. It's finding the way that's going to work for you, that's unique and really kind of
Mm,
fits, the way you want to be marketing. If you don't want to public speak, don't public speak as marketing, right? If you don't want to write books, don't write books, do something else. But it's finding that sweet spot for you and then making sure the message is clear. I think one other thing that just popped into my mind as you were talking is somewhere along the line, I got the guidance of try to get to the next yes. Like whatever, wherever you're at in the conversation of enrolling a new person, what is the next thing that they could say yes to? Would you like to talk? Would you like to meet over coffee? Would you like to have a discovery call? Yes. Would you like to have my free download on some checklist on how to do that? Yes. It's those small yeses. I ask, and I brought this on purpose to show you guys. I have a simple form that I created, my graphic design background, right? A simple form that I created, and the form is called a Spark session. So that's my discovery call. And in it, I've got different check boxes and different things. Are they self-identifying as an overthinker? Where are they living? Are they married or not married? I just jot down the things that they say. A lot of people self-identify a lot in the first call. They're like, "Hi, I'm 51 years old, and I'm from here, and I've got two kids." And so I take some notes on that. And what's important about that is I ask them specifically once I tell them, they let me know that they are interested in my program. I'll say, does this program sound like what you need? So before we've even gotten off the call, I've already asked them a question and I want to hear a yes. I want to hear one yes. And if they're like, well, I don't know, I'm talking to other people, and I can already read that signal, their body language, that they're not likely going to move forward.
Hmm.
It's really simple. So taking that approach of what's the next yes, that can be one way that can help you in your marketing and certainly in your conversations when you're getting closer. Was that helpful?
Yes, it was. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, great, great. And Cheryl, I see you also said that marketing for you too is probably the one you would point to that you would want to work on. Tell us a little
Yeah,
bit about what's
that
happening
would
there.
be the thing. When you were speaking about um, when they read my messages and say out loud, that's totally me. It's really getting the voice down in the copy, right? And so, how might you suggest, honing in on that?
Yeah, it's a great question. And you use the right word, which is the voice. It is your brand voice. It is what's the tone and the style and the manner in which that you're talking to others. My tone of voice for my brand is a friendly mentor. This was something that my editor said when she read my book. She's like, you come across as a friendly mentor. People have said that before to me. It was like a reoccurring theme of the tone of voice. And one of my clients who she is in PR, she actually, we were coaching, this was a few weeks back, and she said she was working on pitching herself for the next level of leadership at her PR firm. And she realized that she does all these tools and PR and all that stuff for her clients. And she builds out, build big brands, narratives and all that stuff, colors and all that. And she's like, I actually think for me to be successful at like pitching myself for the next level of leadership, I need to work on my own brand voice. I do it for my clients. So she had a template and she took brand voice and she said, what's the tone of my voice? How do I sound? Am I a storyteller? Am I more academic? And she started to kind of piece together what those themes are. So you can use something similar to just kind of brainstorm with yourself. What are those things about your brand voice? It could be tough love, it could be soft and sweet, it could be I don't know, holding you accountable, so always having you on the hook for something. Those can all be parts of your coaching presence, might actually give you some insight into your brand voice as well. Yeah, great question.
Thank you.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, shall we move on to a few more strategies and then we'll open it up? Yeah. All right. So, strategy number 6. Okay, client retention. Um, Again, this is an easy way to make a small tweak in your practice. Consider what would change if 20 to even 40% of your clients wanted more after a first phase of coaching or first phase of work. Prepare what would be your secondary offer. What do they do after that? and consider what that looks like. How often are you looking for ways to either upsell or extend a contract into new offerings? What is the customer experience and what happens when the customer works with you for a longer term? I ask my leads when they fill out a form to sign up for the discovery call. I call it it's a unified qualified process, but it's a type form survey. And I ask them a few questions. I just kind of want to make sure that they're the right person and make sure that they see that I'm the right person for them. And I ask them in there, you know, how many sessions do you think you need to reach your goals for coaching? And I purposely put, 6 sessions, and then I put something like 12 or more sessions, and then I put a third option that's long-term relationship. And I want the lead to actually self-select. If they're looking for something longer term, I want to know that up front because people who know coaching know that you can absolutely work with somebody for a year or more and you can have a bigger impact. You can have even more ripple effects. And so thinking about and kind of preparing yourself mentally for, you know, what happens if you retain clients? Because the last thing you want to do is like get to the end of their contract or their agreement or term, and they're like, okay, well, now what do you recommend? And you're scrambling. So you want to think ahead on this. My business to this day, 40% turns into long-term clients. I'm really, really lucky. And it means I've figured something out with the client journey and the client experience that I want them to have. So they keep coming back, and I'm totally good with that. We're always working on new things. That's the other side of it. So as a coach, I stand by my ICF ethics. I would never take on clients where we're not achieving their goals. So if somebody is working with me for more than a year, we are working on net new goals. They're in a net new role. They've started a business. There's a new phase of work there. Or we're holding them accountable to previous goals and strategies, and we're just simply making sure that they're tight and they're maintained and fully integrated. Okay. Next up is tech. We couldn't talk about coaching businesses without tech. There's so much tech out there, and it's obviously it's growing by the second. I mean, there's new things launching every day in coaching and in tech. Whatever your tech needs are, evaluate the technology and your software subscriptions for the return on investment. Are you getting what you need? And the way I would do this if I were reevaluating my tech stack is because, outside of your coach training, your technology is going to be and your coaching itself with another coach will be the place where you'll spend the most money. And so get the tech that you need to deliver that client experience because this is your ecosystem. And when you're marketing and you're out there on social media or in person, your number one goal needs to be getting them out of the public sphere and into your ecosystem. And so, what is that ecosystem that they're coming into? It could be an email list, it could be a community, it could be some other kind of hub or some other, even a Slack channel. It could be anything. But getting them out of the public sphere and into your ecosystem is so important. So your existing tools, are they doing that for you? Does this add value to you personally as the business owner, meaning it's giving you reports or it's making things better or seamless, or is it adding value to your clients? Really, really important. LinkedIn, I'll just to really see that through. LinkedIn, you have all these connections, right? Or you have all these followers. They're not in your ecosystem. If LinkedIn changes their algorithm or the way they store contacts or the way they allow you to send out newsletters, in a second, all of those people might be disconnected from you or might not see your content. You want to find a way to take LinkedIn contacts or Instagram or wherever you're playing in social, take those contacts and bring them into your ecosystem. That's when you know you have engage them in a new way, and you are beginning to slowly enroll them into something. Also, I will say to, what are some operational things that you need in your business that can be automated? Of course, tech is going to help you do that so you can save time. I've never had a virtual assistant. I actually have no idea what I would use a virtual assistant for, because I mentioned most of my clients, everything that they do is self-serve. So what I need help with is marketing, is developing graphics or editing videos and things like that. I need technical support. I don't actually need a VA because I don't have challenges or a lot of backlog of administrative tasks. But your tech stack and your ecosystem looks unique to you. So figuring that out is super important. Okay, money mindset. Um, Money mindset, if you have money issues or money stories, they will show up in every single conversation that you have. They will show up in your marketing messages, on your website, in those enrollment calls and discovery calls, and they will show up when you're making business decisions. Ask yourself, what's my relationship with money? And just right now on your own, on your scrap pieces of paper, write down this answer. What is my standard rate? My standard rate is blank, and it can be per hour, per month, per program, whatever that is. But get comfortable and repeat this sentence 10 times for what is your standard rate. Now, I have a standard rate in my program or in my business. And if somebody is a student, I don't give them the standard rate, but I still tell them what that is. If somebody is in executive coaching, I have a standard rate, but guess what? That's probably not the rate I'm presenting to them. It's something different. So knowing your standard rate and maybe knowing one price point above or below that, if you are offering a sliding scale or if you are taking on organizational and corporate contracts, you will have different rates. But there should be some comfort around here's my standard rate. Here's about where I'm at in that. If you have any questions around rates as well, the ICF does publish this information kind of I think on the North American level, but you can kind of adopt some things out of there. So for example, like an ACC coach would typically, their pricing strategy would be around 100 to 150 per hour. A PCC level coach, and this is an average, a PCC level coach, you would see closer to 200 an hour. And then an MCC coach and higher, you could see well over three, four, $500, $1,000 an hour. So, be comfortable with what that standard rate is. Number 9, we're almost done. What are the key metrics for your business? So if you had never looked at a report, if you had never like dived into any of the key metrics, here's where I would recommend you start. Measure these 4 things starting today. Put it on the piece of paper, date it January 23rd, check in with these numbers in 30 days and in February 23rd. We want you to experiment rather than guess and not throw things and see if they stick. Prioritize and be discerning with where you spend your time, energy, and attention because there's going to be so many things that distract you, including metrics are going to distract you. So the 4 metrics are engagement. So after you have brought somebody, you have their email address or you have touched base with them live, they are inside your ecosystem. After that point, what does it look like? Do you get a positive response from them as a follow-up? Like, let's say you sent them a quote. Do you get a positive response to that quote? That's a form of engagement. That's a person that you want to have as a hot lead and on your radar. Enrollment. In that positive response, if that prospect says to you that they are considering you or they're going to buy from you, but they just need to wait till Saturday or whatever the reason is, that is an example of a positive response and enrollment. Now you have somebody who's truly in your pipeline to hire you. Before, they might have just been researching you, they might have just been curious, they might have just been experimenting. But now in enrollment, they're actually thinking of hiring you. They are truly, truly moving down the funnel. The next one is conversion. So this is the number of people, all of those people I just mentioned, and how many times they convert to actual paying clients. You can also track pro bono, but to me, because I'm in business to make money, I do track who converts to paid sales, payments. And then the last one is really important too, because that gets into client retention, which is completion. How many of your former clients already have completed the program they originally purchased? That's it. Just phase one, did they complete phase one? And you can look at this and you can go back to 2024, or you can go into 2025 already, the month of January as we're approaching it. This becomes your business baseline. And these are the four metrics that you can start to understand where the problem is or where the opportunity is in those conversion rates. Some of these numbers may be lower than others. Some of them may be working really well. But then this tells you, again, do you have a marketing challenge or a sales challenge? And number 10, of course, you know how to be a coach, and now it's time to be a business owner too. What are your inner limits? What do you really want? And if you struggle with perfectionism and, putting yourself out there, I'm going to share these ideas with you. So set an intention, take the action that you need to take, and move forward consistently. And when you do, these start to build your business success habits. When I first started out, there were two messages that my mentor coaches, if you will, shared with me. One was just get started. There's no better way to do it. It's just get started. Find what you want to start first and just do that. And the second coach said to me, don't be a secret, which I love. I still think of that to this day. Don't be a secret. You can't build the business of your dreams if you're a secret. So back over to you. What small tweak can you start making after today's call? And feel free to come off mute.
Yeah, so on my end, I'm not sure what the tweak would look like. I love the first the points 6 and 7. So and how to go about sort of creating that ecosystem, I guess, for me, and what it would look like. They're all third party clients, right? But as you were saying that, or I'm the third party and getting the clients, but how could I build something that once in a while they can actually reach out to them, that they're seeing that I'm still alive and coaching versus just sitting on the sideline and hoping. So I've got to figure that out. I'm not sure exactly what that would look like. And the other one, to set the intentions and take action. So last year when I started, Jessica,
Mhm.
um, I had some goals. I'm now, so things went well. I reached what I wanted to do. And now I'm sort of, I've put a bunch of stuff on, okay, so in January, I said, or December, I said, okay, here's what I'd like to do next year, but I haven't tackled it yet, right? So, yeah, so taking some of those small actions just to take a step forward and feeling that the business is moving a bit, even though I don't want this to be like a huge business, but still feel that I'm moving along in the right direction. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, Jules. And when you were talking about like having people kind of keep you top of mind, so that's a great example of if they're inside your ecosystem, you could maybe send even a quarterly or every 6 months message to check in with them or to offer them something or to share something that you've been up to. It's a great way to kind of keep the momentum going. If you rely on LinkedIn as an example for how to do that, they may not be on LinkedIn for 6 months. So they'll never see all your
Mm,
beautiful content and all of your posts and all of your thought leadership. So that's what I'm saying is like the first step in marketing. I know so many people get really distracted with this and stay on social media because you have all these success stories of, people virally doing whatever to
yeah,
make a seven-figure whatever. But that's not, to me, the business I'm building. And that's not where long-term relationships live. We don't live on, TikTok forever.
mm,
So it's bringing them into your ecosystem. And once they're in your ecosystem, then you can choose what's the right frequency of how I would stay in touch with them or check in with them or, just invite them to things.
yeah, yeah. No, I like that, and I haven't. I haven't done it because for me it's leadership coaching. So it's like LinkedIn to me won't do it in my mind because it's more business to business is the way this goes. But I think there's value in people who already know me. So to have that word to mouth, right?
Mhm.
So, but you've got to keep in the front or at least in the back of their minds after the relationship is done, right? So I think just those small reach outs or those small touch points once in a while, right? Doesn't have to be very often, but at least it brings them back in mind, and maybe they talk to someone. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's where my mind is at right now. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, amazing. And because you have more of a referral and B2B based, referrals and testimonials are going to be critical for you because if you can get the endorsement
yeah,
of, the I don't know, the marketing director or the sales director or something, if you can get that endorsement, that's going to also be an opportunity to coach more people in the team, coach other leaders in the organization, and so on. So, you have
yeah,
you could have kind of a spider web mentality of like, what's the next little kind of spoke I need to build on the spider web that's going to help, attract and show that I'm legitimately the right leadership coach for them
yeah,
because you've already done the work. You've already done similar work with other colleagues.
yeah,
Yeah, cool.
yeah.
Very cool.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Cheryl, any last thoughts, any comments?
Now, I would say that opportunity would be, and this is something I've been really trying to figure out for the past couple of years, is the getting them out of LinkedIn's ecosystem into my own. That's been a challenge.
Mhm.
So, so yeah, so doing some more thinking around that, I feel is the thing. Substack, I think you mentioned Slack or something like that, but Substack seems to be another thing that's out there that people are starting to migrate to. So maybe exploring that. Um, One thing I'm really leaning into is really getting them into my funnel system because that way it will track the metrics and all of that, whether they buy and things of that nature, and being able to, message them through that channel. So, but I feel like that's where some low-hanging fruit exists for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know I see your content on LinkedIn as well. LinkedIn is fantastic because there's millions of people who need your services that are on LinkedIn. The challenge is the LinkedIn algorithm is not showing your content to everybody who's connected to you or everybody who follows you. It's very misleading. It does not do that. I had people who I pinged for this session, for this invitation for today, and they said, I didn't see the invitation. I didn't know you were but yet they're following me or they're even following my company page. So it's very, very, very important to recognize that you're using LinkedIn not to necessarily gain clients, although that will happen across time, but you can be using LinkedIn for awareness. But
Mhm.
don't assume that everybody is seeing that. That's why I'm in love with email marketing, because once I bring it into email marketing, 100% of the people I send that to will see that message. And if they don't see it, I've got a track that says it's been
Mhm.
unread. I could send them another follow-up message later at a different time. And now with AI, they have predictive sending. So now it's sending messages on my behalf when it's best for that lead to open it up, not when I think it's best. I might be like, oh, I really like Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m., but my lead's on the East Coast, and that's not when they're online. The predictive sending and some of the features that are included in email marketing can help even further reach people when they need to hear those messages.
Mhm. But the way that you did that was because you created the book, right? You wrote the book, and that created a way for you to capture them into your ecosystem, correct? And that's how it's kind of more passive for them to self-select what they need from you and then purchase.
Well, no, I mean, some people didn't know I had a book.
Oh,
So the where they were finding me is I would be writing and blog posting and doing various things so that other websites were linking back to me. This is SEO, search engine optimization.
mhm.
And so for years, I've done press releases and
Okay.
blogs and interviews and whatever. And those third-party things have linked back to my website. And people, when they're Googling career coach in Seattle, I used to live in Seattle, career coach in San Francisco, Berkeley, they're finding me and they're finding me organically. So they may or may not know about the book. The book is not driving this. The book is just another mechanism to reinforce what it is that I do in a way that's official. And that's like, I'm seriously doing that. Like, I'm not just saying I'm also a career coach and I toss on that hat. I'm saying, no, this is a core thing that I do.
Mhm. Thought
Yeah.
leadership in other spaces and driving them back to you, basically, and then they're in your ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
You could have many tentacles out there, but what's the one thing that you want them all to go back to? And that usually
Mhm.
is your website.
Yes.
So we've got a little over 10 minutes to go. Here's a recap of what we talked about. Ask yourself, what are you building? 10 small strategies. That's totally me. It's a match, unique value, your signature product, ballpark pricing, helping them build momentum, thinking about your tech ecosystem ROI, your standard rate, your business baseline, and success habits. Don't be a secret, just get started, and knowing whether you have a marketing problem or a sales problem. Everybody who attends this call and those who aren't able to attend live but did register will get a link to download my free coaches business strategy checklist. So this is updated for 2025. It's a digital download and it goes through the same topics that we touched upon today, but gives you a little bit more reflection and a little bit more questions that you can ask yourself. You can get that guide and I can paste the link here in the chat as well. Um, there we go. And so I'm going to turn it over to questions and stop my screen sharing for a minute. I have some questions that I received, but I want to spend this time with you guys live. So, what are some other questions that you have? It can be about anything related to business building or services or pricing or sales. I'm open. This is open time.
I'll just say it's a great overview for sure. A reminder on some things to really think about. I think the timing of this conversation is optimal, right? To really get going and thinking about how do we want to strategize. Um, yeah, I feel like for me, um, it's really a few different kinds of opportunities to kind of like look back on and really kind of tweak and fine tuning my my voice, I think. And I agree with you on the LinkedIn. Like there are people out there that see it. I feel like having a presence and some way of people can go somewhere and kind of hear me talk about different things, if you will, is brand awareness is what I'll call it, right?
Hmm? Exactly.
So for nothing else, because of the algorithms and there, and I think they're being intentional about being tricky. So there's no need for all of these changes and flipping and flopping and stuff. It's just being tricky for no good reason. But I appreciate, kind of the reminder about that and encouragement to really double down on the ecosystem. I want to crack the code on that part.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know that, I'm sure you guys have been on LinkedIn as long as I have, is that you used to be able to download your contacts. Well, they took away that feature too.
Yeah,
So
that
it
was,
shows,
you know,
yeah, we're not really owning that. It's not, it's
mm,
not, it's not ours. So I've never created people have asked me so many times, why don't you create a LinkedIn newsletter? I'm like, what for? Like I'll just get comments and I'll maybe get some likes and maybe that will convert, but I'll spend more time trying to get all those same people off of that into my real thing. I'd rather just try to get them into the real thing in the first place rather than two hops to get there.
that's a great idea because I have a newsletter on LinkedIn. And that's been the thing. It's like, how do I get these people out of there and get their contact information with their permission, right? Because that's a big thing now. Your website has to give people a choice to want marketing materials and things from you. So they have to opt in for that.
Yeah. And yeah, and that's a personal preference with your coaching business. I'm all about quality over quantity. And I never wanted a list of 10,000 people subscribed to my newsletter because I know 10,000 people don't want to buy from me. I'd rather have a tighter list of hundreds of people who want to work with me, who want to learn with me in some way. They may not know how, but they want to stay connected to what I'm about. And so yeah, for me it was a no-brainer. I've said no more than I've said yes to social media. Um, and I think it's worked out for me. I still do need social media, for sure, because that's where people can see if you're real and kind of see what your flavor is, or kind of get more of a 360 view of you. But it's been very intentional, and those as a business owner, you have to make discerning decisions all the time. Those things happen daily. There'll be something tempting, there'll be something over here, something over, and making those yes or no decisions are what saves me time and energy so that I could build the automation that is my email newsletter instead of the other way around. So yeah, no, great points. Well, we've got another 5 minutes or so. I can stay a few minutes extra if there's other questions. I'm trying to see if there was anything else I wanted to share. A question that I got before this call was really about how I built my client base. And I will say just real quickly, I've shared a lot about this today, but by getting started and kind of delivering my promise to my clients, I've asked for testimonials, I've gotten referrals from ideal clients, and that's key too. I actually could get results with a lot of my clients or many of my clients, but I may not ask all of them for a testimonial. So asking the ideal ones for testimonials means I'm trying to attract more people like them, and that's been very strategic, because I want the stories to resonate when they see a testimonial and that's a product manager in tech in the Bay Area. That's going to resonate with all my tech product managers and such. So I do certain things like that strategically. That has helped me get more clients, and really supporting clients where they are. How many, like I said, how many phases of work we're doing? How are we doing multiple goals or one goal? What does that look like? And another quick question, these are real quick ones, is what is a realistic client load for a one-on-one coach? Well, I've been a one-on-one coach all this time, and you do build an endurance around coaching. I used to start out with about 3 hours a day of coaching, and that would be like, I'm out, I'm full. So as you get experience, 3 hours can turn into 3 or 4 hours. That can be very comfortable. For some, that's already too much. That could be too challenging. But you'll get better with time, and you'll build the right systems and the right breaks in between to manage your energy and, strengthen your stamina without degrading the value of coaching. In the very early days, I remember coaching this woman. She was in accounting of all things. And so, I was coaching her at 7 p.m. My time. And I was yawning. I was yawning during what she was saying. Poor thing. And we weren't on video at the time. It was back in the Skype days of things. That's how long ago that was. And it wasn't my best. I'm not at my best at 7 p.m. So I manage my coaching hours around when I'm most alert and when I'm most energized. I also don't want to coach every day, all day. So I consistently have 2 days a week where I may coach 5 to 6 hours with some breaks in between, but my other days maybe 2 to 3 hours. So, and I have my set structure between, say, 8 and 5 p.m. So, it really is personal preference, but I know many coaches who fully book their calendar and treat it like a grind. That's not sustainable as a business. You can't do that. And you're going to also have a hard time booking days off because you're going to have just so much back to back. And so I have a more flexible practice, and that flexibility allows me to take 3 weeks vacation in the summer, and nobody gets upset about that. So the opportunity is for you to design the lifestyle that you want, have passive income that you want, but build the business that you really want. And I think that's probably a good place to stop there. So before we go, I want to share, see how can I do this again? Turn back on to share. So I wanted to share an opportunity with you. And the opportunity is this. So we talked about the download. So this is a free download that you can get my business checklist updated for 2025. I am offering this year, I am offering a group mentorship. And this group mentorship is going to be a monthly group mentor summit where everybody in the mentorship group will have 3 questions with me in a group setting recorded. And they'll have 3 questions with me, which will be about 15 to 20 minutes. And we'll go round table. There'll be a community space for the weeks in between. We'll have learning, we'll have videos. I will share my templates, which is for the first time ever. I'm actually going to publish these templates. I'm really excited about that because it's a chance for me to rev some old things and kind of just, yeah, reimagine things and revision it, but also provide something really simple that can be some templates that you can just pick up. If you want to see a script for how I do something, maybe the template is the script. Maybe it's a ChatGPT prompt. Maybe it's actually physically a Word or a Google Doc template. And so I'm starting this program. The mentorship is there at any time for business development. It's your opportunity to be mentored and to be mentored with other folks as well. So that program is kicking off today. It's so new. It's not even on my website. It is literally being offered for the first time. So here today. So that program is starting for $49 a month USD for the first year. And then after that, it will there will be a new price depending on how big our group mentorship program goes. So if you want to check out any of these Spark stories on my website, please do. These are all coaches. These are all really amazing people who are in business and continue to see the fruits of this labor of alignment and working through their personal values and building the business of their dreams to profitability. So I want to thank everyone for learning with me today. Have an amazing day. I appreciate your time and energy around this. I truly want to help you thrive in your business. So please do reach out for next steps. And I'll be sure to send you a copy of the replay along with the download and the opportunity for mentorship. So thank you so much for your time, and I'll stay on the line for any other comments or questions.
Thank you,
All
Jessica.
right.
Session.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Take care now.
All right.
Thanks. All
Bye
right.
Bye.
bye.
Bye-bye.